The Queensferry Crossing is the newest addition to the scenery, a concept built with a 21st century budget of around £1.5 billion, not million, £1.5 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a circular tour, as you know. We will arrive back at the very same place that you boarded. However, today, if you would like to enjoy perhaps only a once-in-a-lifetime chance to visit the island of Inchcolm, then please visit the Bell Bar to purchase your landing pass. If you do choose to go ashore, the Fourth Bell will continue on our tour and return for you on the very next cruise. You must have a landing pass to visit this stunning historic Scotland maintained attraction. If you are already a holder of a historic Scotland visitor pass, then please simply book in at the bar. That's landing passes for the historic and hauntingly beautiful island of Inchcolm. They must be booked for purchase in the bar. The Bell Bar is located downstairs as you pass the toilets towards the rear of the ship. Ever since 1890, when the Red Force Rail Bridge opened, it was always the tradition to toss a small coin out of the train window as you pass over this island. This is Inchcolm Island, and over time, generations of children have grown up on both shores, and they've all riddled the sand through their toes searching for those coins, the buried treasure. This is an island also rich with history. Have a close look as we go by. Try to see the oldest stonework, because that's the important bit. The old stonework is all that remains of Inchcolm Castle that was built in 1495. This island also operated as a state prison until around 1670, but it was in the mid-1600s. The English, Oliver Cromwell, he'd taken control of Edinburgh. He was advancing his troops throughout Scotland. He was aiming for Stirling Castle. He already had Tantallon Castle at Dunbar, Blackness Castle upstream, and Inchcolm Castle here he took on the 17th day of July, 1651. At this point in the river, in the space of 2 days, over 4,000 English troops crossed to North Queensferry in little boats, and then they all became embroiled in the Battle of Inverkeithing.
Whenever you're near the water, you get the black mark. And you know how high you can go. Doesn't have to happen that day, but as a safety measure, keep that in mind. Never picture that, although just in case.
Leaving Queensferry behind us, we now begin a complete panoramic voyage around this river, the River Forth, the Firth of Forth. Is simply an old Scots name for a river or an estuary, and this firth is more than an estuary. The length measured in a direct line to its source, then lowered to the river area. That's 80 miles. The water wasn't always here. This estuary was carried out during the last ice age when Scotland was complete. But Charles wasn't the only one. Another very famous naturalist came from a little way further downstream, in the small fishing town of Dunbar. Very probably Canadians and Americans aboard, you will know the name, John Muir. This was a man who saved many areas of natural beauty from the curse of mankind itself. Places such as Yosemite National Park in the United States. He more or less created the national park system. But his legacy here in his homeland is the John Muir Way, taking in the Forth Valley coastline beside us, and a further 100 miles of breathtaking cycleway and walkway, Scotland-wide, from here on the Forth on the trading routes. The year was 1690. The expedition was organised by Sir William Anderson, the founder of the bank. Was the expedition successful? No. Over 2,000 of our people were killed out there, and the cost of the whole exercise actually bankrupt Scotland. Scotland was forced to join England and has struggled to gain independence ever since. So never trust a banker. So, in a few moments, we will be docking on Inchcolm Island. The crew will make the ship safe for your disembarkation. We will look forward to seeing you again on our return, but please remain on board the ship if you would like to continue our voyage, eventually taking us all the way back to Queensferry. Nowadays in peacetime, Inchcolm Island is a truly wonderful place to visit, or even just to look at. A truly remarkable place with a history going back in time as far as anybody can. Solitude and tranquility, a haven for wildlife. The island is now maintained by Historic Scotland, but the main feature here, of course, is the magnificent Queensferry Abbey, Scotland's most complete example of a monastic house. In former times, perhaps partly due to its dedication to Columba, the island was nicknamed High on the East. The well-preserved abbey and ruins of the 9th century hermit cell do attract visitors to the island, and some of the visitors may be buried here. They say that this island has been used in the past by hermits and all sorts of reasons. The Inchcolm throughout the centuries is another of the Forth islands that became fortified to prevent the various docks further upriver from being attacked. Can you see the red and white lighthouse out in the water, the Oaks Castle? This beacon was another of the hundreds built by Scotland's famous lighthouse family, the Stephensons. You'll probably all know the famous grandson of the Stephenson family, the author of Treasure Island, Robert Louis Stevenson. And now, over 200 years old, the Northern Lighthouse people, they spend all and sometimes more of their income every year, millions of pounds, providing safe navigation and guidance to all mariners. The general lighthouse fund raises around £18 million every year, very simply by charging a levy of 39 pence per ton for every vessel that enters UK ports. Here's a curious little story about the time. Once completed a rail bridge, however, it connected all corners of the country as the airplane had not yet been invented. Around the same era, Canada and America were advancing their railway systems countrywide with the help of a notable Scottish railway program. He fixed a massive problem caused by people now being able to travel far greater distances. Sanford Fleming first realized his problem when trying to timetable his trains. At the end of the 1800s, when the sun was directly overhead, it was midday, and people said they would just this way. Now, over such a large country, some of Sandy's trains traveled such a long way that in some cases they could arrive in time before they had left. The solution? Sandy came up with a group of the spread out on the desk. He drew a great hole in that flat wall. He created time zones. Scotsman Sanford Fleming invented and gave the world the world clock. approaching the harbour of Inchcolm Island. Can you see the wartime railway lines up on the banking? These would have taken the wartime shells and munitions into their storage shelters. They would have arrived here, just like us, on a boat. The black steam-powered crane on the quay would have lifted the cargoes ashore. Coming up next, the undersea world of Mortimer's Deep, the sea clowns from Morocco, and of course the pinnipeds. Currently the charge stands at 37.5 pence per net ton on the ship. Now that doesn't sound too drastic, but to give you the idea, if we use a cruise liner as a model, every time a cruise liner visits the UK, it has to pay £15,000 for every trip. We've already been to Hove Point, the old terminal, but another important export facility over on the shoreline, Rayfield Marine Terminal. This time, not oil, but propane, ethylene, natural gas and butane, exporting to Norway, Sweden, in fact most of Europe, and as far as the United States of America.
Everybody moves to one side. Still there? Oh, it's still there. There it is. It's waving at you guys. Alright.
Inchcolm Abbey becomes home every year to something else simply quite amazing. From the month of March, the clowns of the sea, they arrive. We all know them better as puffins. These tiny birds live in the burrow on the island, just like rabbits. It's come here to breed because it's cold here in the summer. Some of them live in the Mediterranean, some live out in the North Sea. The puffins return and magically locate the very same burrow that they occupied the year previously. And they also bring with them their mate, their partner for life. It takes 40 days to hatch their eggs. Then it takes 40 days for the chicks to learn to fly. And then, at the end of our summer, those chicks will leave us, heading out to the North Sea or even as far as Morocco for the very first time. And then, this amazing